Hi, first graders. We are on Knowledge 5, Lesson 3, the Maya King Pakal's Tomb. Our only vocabulary word today is market. Say market. Market is a public space where people buy and sell goods. All the travelers stood looking up at the most amazing building any of them had ever seen. It was 9 stories high, each story smaller than the one below it. Wide stone steps ran up 2 of the 4 sides, reaching to the top level, on which there stood a small building. It was made of stone, like the 9-step pyramid on which it stood. 9 stories high, plus the temple of the top. Toon said, "This is the tomb of the great King Pakal." King Pakal lies buried in a great stone case at the very bottom of a hole that runs straight down the center of the temple. There is a staircase in the temple at the top of the pyramid that leads down into the tomb. "Can we see it for ourselves, Father?" the kids asked. "No, it's a special place. Only King Pakal's son is allowed inside the temple." The children looked up with even greater interest, knowing that this was a special place, so special that only a king might enter it. Toon glanced around to see that no one else was listening, then added in a mysterious tone, "They say that there is treasure buried with King Pakal." The 3 children turned to look at him with wide eyes, unsure if he was teasing or serious. So he went on. "Some say there is green jade carved to make all sorts of fabulous jewelry, bowls, tools, perhaps even furniture. Jade is a type of stone. No one knows exactly, though," Chanel added, "except for our king. It was he who put it in there. That is, if the tale is true." Pete looked at his father, Zook. "Do you think it's true, Father? Is there really treasure?" Zook was staring up at the temple. He answered thoughtfully, "I saw King Pakal once, long ago. He was dressed in robes woven of the finest cotton in many colors, and he wore a headdress of magnificent feathers from the rarest birds. He wore magnificent jade necklaces and carried a scepter carved into wonderful shapes. He did not walk on this earth as we do, but he was carried through the streets on a great chair that sat atop 2 long poles laid flat. Important noblemen, for whom carrying the king through the streets was a great honor, carried the king anywhere he wanted to go." He turned to look at his son. "I think that if King Pakal wanted to be buried with a treasure of jade, then yes, there must be jade." The children looked at one another in wonder, then back at the pyramid. But Toon and Chanel looked at each other, silently sharing a different thought. They both were thinking, "I have not heard Zook speak so many words at once in many years." Finally Toon said to the others, "Let us go see what is on the other side of King Pakal's pyramid. I heard from a man in the market this morning that the other king is constructing more great buildings over there." So they hurried off to see what other sights there might be. Sure enough, Pakal's son, King Chan Bullum, had ordered a whole series of buildings to be built. These new buildings were wonderful in their own way, for the roof lines of the temples on top were carved in wonderful designs. When they tired from walking around, they all went to sit in the shade of some wide-spreading trees. After a while, Kanal asked, "Father, why did King Pakal make such a wonderful place to be buried in? It is much greater than the places you showed us this morning where the other kings and queens are buried." Toon answered quietly, "I will tell you, but you must not repeat it." The 3 children grew quiet, sensing that he was about to trust them with a special grown-up sort of secret. Then Toon began to tell them about King Pakal. The end. You may now go ahead and click on the Google form about today's read aloud.